Be the first to know with Newsmax. Send Remind to 39747 now.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Jobless claims moving in the wrong direction. Banking giant UBS backs flexible working plan for employees. Volkswagen and BMW face a $1 billion fine. Those stories next.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get priced within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 877-64-BIBLE. That's 877-64-BIBLE. 877-64-BIBLE.
The number of Americans.
Welcome to What's Your Passion? My name is Clay Taylor, and I actually have a guest host in the building today. He's a legend on the radio, Mr. John Mason.
Hey, guys. Happy to be here.
And
with two of the top two radio talents at WGSO in the booth at the same time, I'm not sure you're ready for this level of radio awesomeness.
So me and John go back and forth, and we talk on who's the best host. And I always tell him I'm the best host. He says, "No, I'm the best host." And we joke back and forth, guys. Of course, I think Jeff is the best host on WGSO.
Who?
Jeff.
Who?
You're bad. You're bad. Guys, let's take care of some business real quick with What's Your Passion here. Sorry, just had a little brain
Biden moment.
yeah, Biden moment. So we can, just welcome to What's Your Passion Live. My name is Clay Taylor again, and we're gonna get this started. I'm not completely there today. I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on tomorrow, guys. We have a great event happening for What's Your Passion. The grand opening of What's Your Passion agencies, the marketing, media, and podcasting studios. We're having a grand opening celebration with food, drinks, music, cash prizes, silent auctions, and more. It all takes place at 4539 North I-10 Service Road in Metairie, Louisiana, on the third floor of the WTIX building. And that is right behind Clearview Mall in the Target building, with that little building right behind the parking garage of Target. It's the WTIX building. It takes place there July 9th from 7 p.m. till to RSVP. You can go to www.givergy.us/passion21. Also, we mentioned this earlier on Jeff's show. A percentage of what we're doing with the silent auction and the 50-50 is going to go to Real Men Wear Pink. And we're going to talk more a little bit about that in the fourth segment and talk all about what's going on with the What's Your Passion. And I'm going to give you a brief rundown. And of course, we've had our little opening, I guess we could say opening, what's that word I'm looking for? We're tweaking things and having our opening problems of a new business and trying to work that out and get that done. So when we really officially open this week, everything, hopefully all the kinks will be worked, the bugs in the system. Last week, internet issues. Actually, this week we had some internet issues. Cox is just horrible, guys. I'm not here to bash any business, but the service is just not what we expected it to be. And it's hopefully they're going to fix that. And I've kind of got on them yesterday, and so we'll have some better things going with that. So I'm excited to tell you, we got some great things happening with What's Your Passion, and we got some great things happening with the show. And we also want to hear from our guests today, 556-9696. I want to hear about your passion, whatever your passion may be. If it's talking about grass, or talking about sports, let's hear what your passion is. So right now we're going to take these next few minutes and talk a little bit about my motivational quotes, what I usually open up with, and some business quotes for our business people out there. And the biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quick, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risk. And that's right, because there's an old saying, you only fail when you fail to try. There's no such thing as failure if you continue doing it and it's just not working. Now, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and it's not working, then that's just the definition of insanity. But if
I thought that was called Democrat policy.
Well, yeah, of course. but not making this a political show, we will say, I agree with you on that though. But no, I mean, the thing is, you can't fail if you keep trying and pushing at it. You fix your problem, you move on. When you fail, you get up and you keep on going. You don't just shut your doors because you failed the first time. Failure should not be seen as failure, but as a challenge. And see, I love when I stumble and fall, for the simple fact that it strengthens me. It encourages me. I get excited. And because I know that's part of, there is no such thing as an easy, smooth road. In business, there's no such thing as just everything falling in place. You just don't wake up one morning and open your doors and you do $25 million in business. That comes with a lot of struggles. It comes with a lot of BS, basically. It comes with the bull stuff that means, by the way. And so, it comes with a lot of stuff that, headaches and heartaches. And, if you have business partners, it comes with a lot of button heads. But at the end of the day, business is a challenge, guys. Opening up, doing what you do, it's a huge challenge. But that's what we should love. That's the great part of business. That's the great part of life. In general, taking part of something in life, one of the things is, our lives come with challenges. We get sick, we have downfalls, we have financial hardships. It's not that we're failing. That's part of success. Go listen to someone's success story and listen to what they went through in life, because they overcame any and all obstacles. And that's the whole point. You have to be able to overcome these obstacles. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. I like that. Yes. Giving a good value in business is one of the things that, I can go pay for something and I can pay a lot of money, but getting the value of the product, a lot of times it's not always getting $1 million product and having $1 million product. It could sometimes be that little cheap little product that gives you the best value and the best bang for your buck. I had to make my own living and my own opportunity, but I made it. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunity to come. Get up and make them. People in life, time after time, they wait for the opportunity to come to them instead of them waiting and making their own opportunity. Don't wait for an opportunity. Businesses, don't wait for an opportunity for customers. Create that opportunity so customers will come. I quote this almost every week in the show, the field of dreams. Build it and they will come. That is my motto. Build it and they will come. You got to create opportunity. Don't sit and wait for the opportunity to come to you. So we got to take a break, guys. We're going to bring on the Big John Mason, talk a little bit about what he's doing for the Big John Mason show and what's coming up. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and we'll be back in just a few minutes. See you there. All right, welcome back. We have two legends in the house today. We got the big John Mason and, of course, myself, Clay Taylor. Of course, you know, being legends in our own mind does not, I guess that works.
It counts.
So, yeah, it
It
counts. Legends in our own mind. But so we have John Mason here today, filling in and just being a guest co-host today. And last week we had Ken, but because the show, I don't know if it got to air, it was aired last Friday and not because of some issues that took place.
I told you not to
Technical
feed the
issues.
gremlins after midnight, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't listen.
So we're gonna bring him on next week. You got to hear this guy's story with Sheriff's Mission and what's going on. So, John, tell us a little bit about the Big John Mason Show and what's going on. And
Well, I'm gonna, the name of the show is What's Your Passion? And recently, my passion has been politics. I know you said it's not a political show, but
what's your passion?
for today, it's my passion.
Right.
I one day I was I'm an attorney. I was a university professor way back when. But one day I got a colorful pamphlet from my state representative who was telling me how conservative she was. And I did some digging. There's a thing called Google. You can find out just about anything. And it turns out my very conservative representative had a 100% voting for taxes. And, that got me riled up. It's like saying, hey, I'm a strict vegan, but I love a good steak. So I got involved in politics. And last November, I ran for public service commissioner and I raised $3,000. I had a couple of volunteers and that was it. I was 100% grassroots. And I heard from pollsters that I would be lucky to get 8,000 to 10,000 votes. And it turns out I got just about 58,000 votes and I won 2 parishes. And I did that strictly 100% through grassroots. There was nothing like What's Your Passion there. There was no way I could go on a podcast and reach out and connect. Now, I do have a radio show. You referred to the Big John Mason Show. It's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right here on WGSO. And it's on some other stations too. I'm syndicated. I've got 6 stations in my tiny little radio empire. But the point is, it started out just like you, once a week. If you do a podcast that's once a week, then it became twice a week. Now it's at 3 times a week. If I weren't so busy in my real life job as attorney, and by the way, if you need any attorney services, you can reach me at 504-509-0274. But I could be 4 or 5 days a week. It's just hard to cram enough hours into the day to do the kind of research that drives my show.
Right.
And I try to hold a spotlight on our politicians. If people tell you they're liberal and they're not, I want to let you know. If people tell you conservative and they're not, I'm going to let you know. So my passion is the law and politics. And, I was listening to inspirational quotes. There's a Zen master, I forget which one, but his quote, and it's very powerful and influential in Japanese culture, is fall down 7 times, stand up 8.
Exactly.
And that's, when you're in a legal dispute, regardless of whether you settle or it goes to trial,
Right.
there are a million motions. And no matter how good the facts are, you're not going to win them all. You can still win at trial. You can still get a good settlement, but there's always going to be setbacks. In the political process, we're a red state, and yet we have a pretty radical governor who hides as a moderate Democrat.
Right.
So, if I were doing it, and I'm going to run again, I'm going to tell you right now, that's no secret.
I think you should run for Secretary of State, brother.
I don't know what I'm going to run for, but I tell you this. I wish there had been something like What's Your Passion the first time I
Right.
decided to run. And if you're out there, look, I get it. Like Clay said, your passion might be gardening. It might be bird watching. It probably should be chihuahuas. But regardless of what your passion is uh, you got to try. You
Right.
got to give it a shot. Failure is really a learning opportunity. Nobody likes trying and not winning, not succeeding the first time.
Right.
But I know you know the idiom, if it doesn't kill you, it only makes you stronger.
That's right.
And that's the case here. You know, um, I never dreamed I would win 2 parishes. And of course, they were very conservative parishes. I never dreamed. I was really hoping when the professional pollster says no one knows who you are, you're only going to get 8,000 votes, you'll be lucky for 10,000. My first instinct was to believe that. My second instinct was to say, when I started this, nobody was coming to any talks.
Right.
But I
Well,
kept going and I kept trying, and audiences
and-
kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
exactly. And here's the thing, brother, because you were in a sense like President Trump. Nobody thought President Trump was going to get 1% of the vote, more or less become president of the United States. Everybody thought, I mean, he was the underdog in the Republican Party. And yet he was the president of, and still in my case, and I'm not making this a political show, but the president of the United States.
Well, for today, it's kind of political
Yeah.
if you're talking about what's my passion.
Exactly. So in your case, everybody told you couldn't do it, even though you didn't at least win, but you still won 2 parishes. You still got more than what everybody else said you was going to. So that
Well,
sends a
there were
message. 'Cause
4
you know what-
Republicans in that race.
Right.
If there had only been 2,
Right.
I honestly believe I'd have made the runoff.
Right.
And I honestly believe I might be public service commissioner today. But the fact that I didn't, I can look at it and say, boy, I didn't make the runoff. I didn't win. I should give up. On the other hand, I'm saying no one expected you to get close to 58,000 votes. No one expected you to win 2 parishes.
Right.
I've been getting invites to go talk to different Republican clubs all over the state. If you would have told me, because I only raised $3,000, it worked out. One of my competitors spent over and these are, you can look at the public record request, spent over
Right.
$300,000. He spent $38 a vote.
Right.
My votes worked out to about 6 cents a vote. If you would have told me that you're going to be invited to go talk on how do you operate, how do you get those votes on 6 cents a vote in Shreveport, no one would have been more surprised than me.
Right.
But you got to get out and you got to try.
Exactly. And that's the whole point. John Mason is an absolute what's that word I'm looking for? I'm having a Biden
Hideous
moment today.
troll.
No, not a hideous troll.
Oh, okay.
John Mason is an example to what you got to get out and try. When everyone tells you can't do it, everyone told him he wasn't going to get. He was lucky if he was going to get 10,000 votes, but he got out there and he pushed and he pushed. And how many votes you got again, brother?
57,652.
57,000 votes. Now, for a guy that is just a radio talk show host, that he's in a sense compared to Eric Skamata and the other Republicans that were running, you would be considered a nobody, and I would say
Absolutely. I had, like I said,
and
$3,000 in the bank. No radio ads, no TV ads,
Right.
no yard signs, no flyers. Just a couple of diehard volunteers and a passion, a grassroots.
Right.
I would go and speak to anyone that would have me. If it was a group of 2 people, if it was a women's Republican club, it didn't matter. You got to put yourself out there. You got to try.
Right. We have 1 minute, but when we come back, we're actually going to talk about your Saturday show that you do and a little bit about becoming a lawyer. And so if you have a question for John Mason, if you want to take some lawyer questions, call us at 556-9696. Again, 556-9696. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. Let your friends know we're on WGSO.com or Facebook Live. See you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to What's Your Passion Live. My name is Clay. We're actually going to take this time and we're going to take your calls. Actually, do you mind before we get into the legal parts if we take the caller?
Not at all.
Okay, who do we have? Matthew? Mark from Metairie. Mark from Metairie. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Mark in Gretna.
Mark
Yeah,
from
I'm
in
here.
Gretna. How you doing? Good to hear from you. It's been a
Hey.
while.
Don't abuse my
Yeah.
listeners. How you doing, Mark?
I appreciate that. No, I wanted to kind of get y'all's take on the general direction of the vaccination process, and this Psaki girl, the redheaded girl, the Biden's spokeswoman or whatever she is. Again, I don't watch too much TV, but I heard they're trying to push. Now, they didn't say, quote unquote, we're coming door to door to vaccinate you, but she did suggest door to door assistance for those who have not been vaccinated yet. And, they kind of put a little bow on top of it. And my question, you guys, and I'll hang up and listen to your responses, and maybe Big John with his legal background can give me some advice. I have 2 young children. One of them has qualified for an advanced studies program. It's a public school, and the benefit of that is I think as a propaganda. Of course, it saves me some money, and she's at such a young age. I don't feel she's under as much pressure. But with the direction of things with public schools and even with jobs, what is the end game of this? Like illegally, how far are they going to go? Because the writing's on the wall with the Delta variant. That my prediction is by August everything's going to be locked down again. I mean, the way that they're promoting the Delta variant and the Lambda variant and the double whammy Delta and this and that. And specifically, they're saying the Delta variant is going to target children. So they want to vaccinate the children. How do we protect our children? How do we protect our jobs? My wife works in the healthcare industry. She hasn't been pressured yet to take her shot, but I wanted to get your take on that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, again, sorry for the foray into politics on the What's Your Passion show, but wherever I go, the politics follow. The easiest analogy, Mark, is with the census. People know that when the census worker comes to your door, that if you don't fill out the census, you face some pretty stiff penalties. But that's only because there is a federal statute, a federal law that assesses penalties if you don't fill out the census. The door-to-door program is supposed to be for informational purposes only, which means there's no penalty if you tell them, go away, please leave my property. Not interested. As a matter of fact, I would like to think that there are some entrepreneur out there who's already ordering his first batch of COVID solicitors go home or no COVID solicitation to put up in case the government workers come by. And Biden has already said he wants to hit the areas and states that have the lowest vaccination rate. Well, guess what? Louisiana has one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country, so it's going to target us.
Right.
If you listened to my show yesterday, I played a public service announcement from Governor John Bel Edwards and FEMA, in which they said the hurricane season is upon us, and the most important thing you can do is to get the COVID vaccination.
Yeah.
That's the key to hurricane preparedness. That's like saying, man, I'm spending a lot on gasoline. I wish I could get better mileage, so I'm going to go get a COVID vaccination. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Now, there was a bill that was passed by the Louisiana legislature that said you could not discriminate against someone on the basis of whether or not they had a COVID vaccination. And that applied to schools.
Right.
It applied to schools, and John Bel Edwards vetoed it. Well, we're going to have a veto override session, it looks like. Whether that gets the supermajority necessary to override the governor's veto, I'm not sure. But that would be the best way to protect your kids, is to overdo that veto, overturn the veto that says you can't discriminate on a child in school just because he or she hasn't had the vaccine. So, Mark, I'm going to encourage you, call your congressman, call your state senator. I'm not talking about, your feds. I'm talking about your state. Find out who your state senator is. And I'm sure Mark knows, he's pretty politically savvy. Find out who your state rep is. Call them, tell them you want this veto session and you want those vetoes overturned. Again, none of these vaccines, they're all under emergency use authority. None of them are FDA approved, and none of them are approved for children under the age of 12.
Right.
But it was still pretty obvious that, oh, the Delta variant targets children. Well, guess what? That means that there's going to be a big push to get the emergency use authorization extended to children under 12. Is it safe for them? Oh, who knows?
It's not safe for most people. So, I mean, that's a great question, and thanks for calling and giving it, asking this question about that. And if you want to call and ask John a quick question about law, we're talking about law and the legal parts of what his legal show is, and that's on Saturdays from.
Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon. It's called Ask a Louisiana Lawyer. The idea was that, just like no doctor covers every specialty because the human body is amazingly complex.
Right.
Shoot, a veterinarian, each animal body is incredibly complex. No doctor knows every area of law. No lawyer knows I'm sorry, I said no doctor knows every area of law. No doctor knows every area of medicine.
You just had a Biden moment. It's all
yeah,
right.
No lawyer knows every aspect of law. So the idea was to have more than one lawyer that you could call in and ask your legal question. And sometimes we may not know. For example, I have never done any bankruptcy.
Right.
I know a little about bankruptcy law. I've taken a course in bankruptcy, but I'm not an expert, but I know someone who is.
Right.
So even if we can't answer your question, we can refer you to someone that does.
So if you have a question and you want to get it in this segment, it's 556-9696. So John, tell us a little bit more about what you talk about on the show. What people do, they call in and they ask you questions kind of.
Well, I try and specialize on things that affect life in not just southeastern Louisiana, although there's an emphasis on that, but on Louisiana in general. Important things, and that means people don't realize how influenced we are by politics. For example, Louisiana legislative session just ended. Do you know how many laws were passed?
Excuse me.
Do you know how many laws were signed by the governor that became new laws? 477. Louisiana has 477 new laws. And you say, well, I don't pay any attention to any of that. How does it affect me? Well, one of them said that a business can't discriminate based on whether or not you've had the vaccine.
Right.
So, Walmart's got a big sign that says, if you've had your COVID vaccine, you can enter without a mask. If you haven't, you're supposed to wear a mask.
Right.
This new bill would have said you can go anywhere.
Right.
Regardless of whether you've been vaccinated or not. One of the laws, and this is a really important one that was also vetoed, would have made schools more transparent. They would have to document how they were spending the money.
Right.
And I'm a huge believer in sunshine laws. Let's face it, most people don't keep tabs on the government. Most people don't trust the government, regardless of whether Democrats are in charge, like New Orleans or Shreveport, or Republicans are in charge. Most people just don't trust the government. Transparency, seeing how they're spending the taxpayers' money, that's critical, because if there's ever going to be any change, if we're ever going to get the best value for a dollar, we need to know how the dollars are being spent. Everyone knows about the transgender bill. If you don't want someone who was a male for the first 18 years of their life that has decided that they are a female on the soccer field running over your daughter, that was vetoed. It affects you. Even if you think it's the transgender thing, veto was a great idea. It affects so many people in Louisiana.
Right.
Road funding. Who hasn't complained about the roads in Louisiana? Our infrastructure is terrible. We had a major road funding bill. Most people have no idea what it says or what it does. 477 new laws. Now, in my opinion, that's probably about 450 new laws too many.
Right.
We already have 14 volumes of state law. If you wanted to buy a copy of Louisiana state law in hardback, would set you back about $14,000. because there's
Cool.
15 volumes.
So quickly, if you want to become a sponsor on his show, how can they reach you?
You can email me at jmason, Jmason, at wgso.com. And in addition to politics, I do some lighter things. For example, they had to close the biggest mall in Louisiana, the Mall of Louisiana, because a 12-foot python escaped. Now, they didn't close the whole mall. They just closed a couple of shops near where it escaped. And the press release said that they closed the stores to protect the snake.
So we're going to talk about that right after this break, guys. I like that. We're going to come into that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about What's Your Passion event. See you in just a second. Hey, 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 we're back for the last segment of What's Your Passion Live. We're in the home run stretch of the show, guys. And so we're going to take this time and finish up John Mason's statement. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the What's Your Passion party and what we do at What's Your Passion Agency. So the snake that got loose in the Louisiana Mall of Louisiana, and they shut down just a few shops. You stopped off there.
Yeah, because, and if you read the press release, you can't make this stuff up. It says that they shut down the stores out of an abundance of caution to protect the snake. So if you were there with, some nice old lady is there with her granddaughter, Susie, age 7, who's the biggest threat? Is little Susie, the 7-year-old girl that weighs, 70 pounds, really a threat to a 12-foot Burmese python, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, or even an infant.
Yeah,
you know?
and
I mean, it's
of course, I said that was lighter side because it's funny that you have to close a mall to because a snake escaped. And there's plenty of weird and wonderful things going on in Louisiana. Did you know one of the world's biggest Bigfoot conventions is held in Shreveport? I certainly didn't. There is all kinds of wild, wacky things going on all over our state. When New Orleans canceled Mardi Gras, there were other places in Louisiana that still had it. I know it's Billy Nungesser's job to promote tourism, being the lieutenant governor, but I do my part too. We are truly an amazing state. We have an amazing land, an amazing people, an amazing culture,
yes.
and yet we seem to be at the bottom of the list of everything, and there's no reason for it. There is no reason we should not be one of the leading states in the nation instead of one of the least states in the nation.
Right. And my watch just told me almost there. That's crazy that my watch almost knows that we're almost over on our show. So let's talk a little bit about What's Your Passion and a grand opening celebration that's taking place tomorrow. If you want to come out, meet myself, Jeff Couer, or Renee Manfrey, that is tomorrow, July 9th from 7 p.m. till it takes place at 4539 North I-10 Service Road in Metairie on the 3rd floor of the WTIX building. Now, guys, if you don't know where that's at, if you know where Clearview Mall is on Veterans in Clearview, we're on the service road directly behind Target and the Target parking garage. Now, we're going to have food, drinks, music, cash prizes, silent auctions, and more. And it is free to get in, guys. So you don't have to have money to come. But we ask to, if you want to come in and spend a little money, the monies that we're raising at this event is going to go, a percentage of this is going to go to benefit Real Men Wear Pink. And so that's a great thing we're doing. We're taking advantage of our grand opening celebration to get people to promote our business, but we're going to take and use that as an opportunity to also raise money for the Real Men Wear Pink, which is a breast cancer awareness campaign. And I will be wearing pink tomorrow night. Real Men Wear Pink. So,
so wait, let me get this straight. Free food, free drinks, a silent auction. I personally won't be singing, and it benefits breast cancer. What kind of troll would you have to be to not want to go to that?
Yeah, you got to come out. I mean, this is an awesome event. So, and come support it, guys. We want to pack the house, and we're going to tell you a little bit about what we do at What's Your Passion Agencies. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about the last few minutes we have, and what we offer at the What's Your Passion Agency. So, What's Your Passion Agency is a full-fledged, one-stop shop podcasting agency where we do marketing, we do business consulting, we have a whole array of business services like the digital business card, guys. And we also have that meeting on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night at the shop, that if you want to learn how to promote your business with a digital business card, guys, you got to come check this out. And you can learn all that information on the What's Your Passion, WYPAgency.com.
Let me jump in and interject. I understand that, of course, businesses are going to have the most use for the What's Your Passion services.
Right.
But I think just about everyone has a use for your services. For example, if you want to pass on some family recipes that you got from your mom to your granddaughter,
right,
you could do a podcast where you show how to make these family recipes. If you got some gardening tricks, some sewing tricks, anything. When I say a podcast, you don't have to do it once a week, every week.
Right.
You don't have to do it 3 times a week like I do my radio show. A one-off or a two-off to pass on things. Folks, doing a podcast should be on your bucket list. There are plenty septuagenarians, octogenarians that have podcasts. One of the big podcasts on Apple Podcasts is Listen to Your Grandmother. There's no age limit, and it's not just about businesses. Okay. That's right. Go back to your really scheduled.
No. I agree with you, and thanks for that input. And so I mean, yes, everybody should want to do some sort of podcast, and we can help you with that. A lot of people say, well, I could do podcasts on my own. Why should I hire you to do it? Well, because again, we have a network, and that's what we do. We have a group of people that help you and promote your podcast. And we get you to a point to where that you can't do at home. There's a thing when you do something by yourself, that's what you get by yourself results. You get your results when you have a team where everyone is working behind you and to help promote, you get bigger results. So I want to jump on this. What is Your Passion Business Services? We offer an all-in-one agency that provides marketing, podcast services, video production services, tools to grow your business or podcast, a digital business card. We do website designs. We also design logos, guys. If you need a logo design, you could reach out to us, and much more. We are looking for the next rising star on the internet, and that's talking about podcasts. If you want, not everybody can be a radio host. Not everybody has the quality, but let me tell you, some of the people are the biggest stars on the internet today. You would never think they are the biggest stars today. And so we're looking for the next rising star on the internet, and we want to help you with that. It's just, we have over 50 years of experience in radio, TV, marketing, and business services. WYP wants to help you grow and promote yourself and your passion and your business through our wide array of services. So, come out, check us out tomorrow. This is something that, we're not here to sell you tomorrow night. We just want you to see what we do. We're not going to have contracts ready for you to sign. And if you want to sign up tomorrow night, we'll set up a time to talk with you and set up an interview. We're going to consult with you and go over what you want to do. Tomorrow night is not a night to sign you up and start your podcast tomorrow night. That's not what tomorrow night's about. Tomorrow night is a night to just see what we do, see our studios, learn a little bit about our marketing agency and our and what we do. So come out and join that. Again, it's at 7 p.m. and I'll give you that. Let me pull it back up. I have it right here. If this computer will work with me, it is at 4539 North I-10 Service Road in Metairie. Again, that's July 9th from 7 p.m. till. You can RSVP at www.givery, and that's spelled givergy.us/passion, PASSION 21. Sponsors are still welcome. If you want to become a sponsor for this event, you're welcome. You can reach me at 504-434-8614. Again, if you want to learn more about our services and what we do, give me a call at 504-434-8614. Well, that wraps up for today's show. Thank you, John Mason, for joining us. And it's good to have you here, brother. And
good to be here. Again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 to 2 p.m. right here in WGSO.
And on Saturdays from 10 to 12.
10 to 12.
And again, join us next week for What's Your Passion Live. God bless you and see you next week.